My father's painful words labeled my dream a fake job, but I turned them into a 38M empire. I will never forget the day everything fell apart. The air was thick, filled with static, as he threw his voice across the room, each syllable sharp like glass. It chilled me. What you want to do is a fake job. He shouted, his disappointment a weight I could barely bear. My heart raced, pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. I stood frozen, the world around me blurring into a haze. This was my father, my hero, the man I looked up to, slicing my dreams in two. I was caught in the middle of my anguish, clutching the edges of my desk, my trembling fingers digging into the wood like it was my only anchor. My friends cheered me on, filled with hope and laughter. But his words echoed louder, drowning out their cheers. They didn't understand. They didn't know that my passion lit a fire in me that I couldn't extinguish. I had spent years building this dreamt bright lights of my vision shining, igniting every corner of my mind. I imagined the chaos of excitement, the thrill of creating something real, something extraordinary. It was my world of possibilities, filled with vibrant colors and exhilarating achievements. But his voice haunted me, whispering fears of failure and shame. The years rolled on, filled with sweat, tears, and an unrelenting drive. Each setback felt like another punch to the gut, another opportunity for him to be proven right. I sacrificed friendships, shut out doubts, and pushed forward despite the trembling in my chest. Some nights, I'd stare at the ceiling, wondering if this fake job would ever be worth it. But then, there were those glimmers of hope that pierced the darkness. Connections made, doors opened. I could feel the pulse of a community forming around my dream, nurturing it, breathing life into it. The thrill surged within me, pushing me to keep fighting, despite the shadow of his judgment looming over me. Then, something changed. A breakthrough, an idea that sparked the creativity I craved. It felt electric, surging through my veins, connecting the dots in ways I never expected. I saw a chance to turn it all around. But the louder internal battle echoed ominously. What if I failed? The gamble was terrifying, a roller coaster of emotions coursing through me. I was on the edge of the unknown, standing at a precipice, ready to leap but terrified of the fall. Would this be the moment I either soared or crashed painfully to the ground? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button. It really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The sun hung low in the sky as I walked to the coffee shop that had become my sanctuary. The familiar aroma of freshly brewed coffee greeted me like an old friend, wrapping around my senses, offering a momentary respite from the relentless storm of emotions swirling in my mind. As I stepped inside, my heart felt heavy, weighed down by the struggle of reconciling my aspirations with my father's disdainful words. I took my usual spot by the window, hoping that the late afternoon sun would warm the chill in my bones. I pulled out my notebook, pages filled with sketches and ideas that felt both vibrant and fragile, like butterflies pinned to a board. Each line represented hopes, dreams, failures, and fleeting triumphs, but today, they all felt too brittle under my father's recent criticism. Hey, you okay? A voice pulled me from my thoughts. It was Emma, my confidant and the one person who always seemed to know when I was sinking deeper into my thoughts. She slid onto the chair opposite mine, her bright smile a small light in my otherwise grey day. Just thinking, I murmured, my gaze flickering to the bustling street outside. About everything. The weight of my father's words loomed over me like a dark cloud, stripping my usual enthusiasm. Emma leaned in, her eyes searching mine. You know what? Your dream is not just valid, it's beautiful. I see all the hard work you put into it. Your passion shines through everything you create. I wanted to believe her. I really did. But how could I override the voice of the man who had been my compass for so long? The thoughts tumbled around my mind like leaves caught in a whirlwind. I opened my mouth to respond, but the words stuck in my throat. Instead, Emma pulled out her phone. Look at this, she said, scrolling through various social media posts about success stories that began humbly. These people started out just like you, and look at them now. They didn't let anyone's negativity stop them. As she showed me the faces of others who had experienced the same struggle, a flicker of hope ignited within me. Perhaps I wasn't alone. Maybe there were others who had battled their own shadows and come out on the other side. I felt goosebumps crawling across my skin, igniting something that had lain dormant under my doubt. Thanks, Emma, I whispered, a tremor in my voice. I needed to hear that. She nodded knowingly, but before I could delve deeper into our conversation, the bells on the door chimed. My heart thundered at the sight of Ryan, my old friend from college, stepping in. We hadn't spoken in months, not since my journey had taken me down an increasingly isolating path. His eyes lit up as he spotted me, and an inexplicable warmth flooded my chest. He bounded over. Hey, I heard about what you are doing. I think it's incredible. His enthusiasm washed over me like a cool breeze on a hot day. I couldn't brush away the sudden flood of embarrassment that crept across my cheeks. Thanks, but I am kinda in a rut. Forget that. You are building something amazing, he countered, his words firmer than they ought to be. People need to hear your story. Let me help. Before I could respond, he pulled out his phone and started typing furiously. You've got to connect with this journalist I know. She's been searching for inspiring stories, and yours has all the elements of a great article: struggle, passion, and triumph. The idea stirred something within me, tilting the scales between my father's judgment and my own beliefs. I hesitated. What if I reached out and things fell apart? But the glimmers of hope were getting brighter, swarming with my yearning to rise above the weight of expectations. As Ryan kept talking, I found myself nodding, a part of me yearning to embrace this new opportunity. My heart raced with a mix of excitement and terror. Could I share my story? Would it help me overcome the shadows that my father's words had cast? Suddenly, Emma's phone buzzed, startling us both. She frowned as she opened the message, her brows knitting together in confusion. All this is odd. It's from your dad. My stomach dropped. What does he want? I asked. Disbelief creeping into my voice. It says he wants to meet. In person, she replied, a hint of concern coloring her tone. I felt the room shrink around me. Meeting him now, while I was on the brink of exploring a new path. The emotional stakes escalated, creating a tidal wave of dread and anxiety. My head spun, heart racing faster than ever as I tried to grapple with my father's request looming ahead of me. Maybe this is a chance to set the record straight, Ryan suggested, his voice buoying me slightly. You could show him what you've accomplished. His words tumbled around in my mind while the walls felt like they were closing in. Fear clashed with hope like a thunderstorm brewing. Maybe I could rewrite my narrative, reshape the relationship on my own terms. But as I weighed my options, uncertainty gnawed at me. What would I say? Would he listen? Or would this meeting merely solidify the divide between us even further? I took a deep breath, sensing that the moment I had been fearing and longing for was upon me. And deep down, I knew just how much it mattered. The stakes were about to rise, but with them, possibly, the chance for something more profound, a renewed connection, a breaking of the chains that had so long bound me. And then, just as I began to find my footing, another message came through. This one made my blood run cold. It was from the investor who had been interested in my budding venture. The subject line felt like a punch to the gut, regretfully declining. The glimmer of hope dimmed, replaced by a darkness that threatened to swallow me whole. Would I fight back, or let the shadows overwhelm me again? The stakes were higher than ever, and I was teetering on the edge of losing everything I had worked for. The late afternoon sun poured into the coffee shop, its light mingling with the earthy aroma of brewing coffee, but it felt like a mere shadow of warmth against the icy grip of anxiety that tightened around my chest. My hands trembled as I read the investor's message again, my heart racing as if it had been jolted awake. The words were undeniably clear, regretfully declining. It hung in the air like a spectre, taunting the spark of hope that Ryan and Emma had ignited within me. I clenched my hands into fists, fighting the wave of despair crashing over my ambitions. Are you sure you are okay? Emma asked gently, concern etched on her face. She could see the pallor draining from my cheeks. I forced a smile, the kind that felt more like a grimace. Just processing. You know. Ryan, ever the optimist, remained oblivious, still bubbling with excitement. Let's not let one setback dampen the mood. That journalist could be a game changer for you. We need to set up that meeting with her today. Yeah, I guess, I murmured, but the weight of the news tugged at my thoughts, sidetracking my ambition with echoes of my father's contempt. What did this all mean for my dreams? Was my father's jab about my aspirations being a fake job becoming my own truth? Emma shifted in her seat, her gaze steady as she placed a careful hand over mine. You are not defined by one rejection. Even the most successful people have faced countless numbers before they found their yes. Her voice dripped with warmth, like honey in the bitter tea of my worries. Maybe that rejection was about them, not about you, Ryan added, trying to inspire me. It doesn't mean you are not talented. You just need to find the right person who believes in you. But how could I silence the nagging doubts in my mind? Every interaction with my father replayed like a haunting melody that echoed, taunting me whenever I dared dream. The idea of facing my father loomed even larger now, a looming tempest of emotions, frustration, fear, and longing, all waiting to unravel. Taking a deep breath, I looked out the window, watching the world blur past, a steady stream of lives mingling seamlessly. They all seemed to move with purpose, a clarity I craved but struggled to find. My dreams felt like tethered balloons, sparkling with potential yet held back by a weight that kept them anchored to the ground. Maybe I should just forget the journalist and meet my father, I blurted out. The suggestion floated between us, heavy with implications. I mean, what if he has something helpful to say? What if he actually cares? Emma's brow furrowed, her voice dropping to a cautious whisper. You know he can be harsh. Are you sure you want to open that door right now? Indeed, I recalled the sting of his words from years past, the utter disdain his eyes held when I spoke about my dreams, his unyielding belief that anything less than traditional success was a failure. My heart trembled at the thought of rekindling that relationship while still stinging from rejection. Ryan stirred in his chair, sensing the turmoil in the air. Why not do both? Meet your father, but also reach out to that journalist. You've got to keep your options open. Just because one door is closed doesn't mean there aren't 100 others waiting to be opened. The notion of juggling both felt overwhelming, but his words planted a seed of determination in me. Perhaps the two paths could intersect, perhaps I could find a way to prove myself not just to my father, but to myself, too. Gathering my courage, I opened a new message to the journalist. I began to type, channeling both my fear and my passion into words. In that moment of connection through the screen, I felt a flicker of hope spark deep within, a courageous whisper that chimed louder than my father's disapproval. But before I could send the message, the sound of my phone buzzing jolted me. It was Emma again, her eyes wide, and the certainty etched on her face sent a chill through me. "Oh no, it's your father again," she said, nervously handing me her phone. I hesitated, fear gripping my throat, but the curiosity pulled me in. As I read the message, my stomach plummeted. It wasn't just an invitation to meet. He was asking for something more, something unexpected. "I need to talk to you about your future," it read. "And it's serious." The finality in his tone struck like a bolt of lightning. What did he know that I didn't? The implications twisted in my mind, sending a spiral of dread and anticipation tumbling together. And as I lowered my phone, I could barely manage to breathe. The space between my heart and my thoughts clawed at one another, wrestling for dominance. In that moment, I realized the meeting with my father might not just be a confrontation of dreams, it could unravel threads of my life I had yet to confront. "Are you going to meet him?" Emma asked softly. I looked around the coffee shop, at the patrons going about their ordinary lives. My heart felt like it was in a vice, tightening at the thought but somehow also elated at the ripple of vulnerability I felt deep inside. I have to," I finally said, my voice trembling yet resolute. It felt like the first step towards breaking free from the chains that had left me paralyzed for far too long, though I had no idea what awaited me. And as I stood up to leave, another, more piercing thought struck me like a thunderclap. What if he wanted to cut all ties, to disown me entirely? What if this meeting didn't lead to reconciliation, but to nothingness? The weight of my uncertainty sat heavily as I exited the coffee shop, leaving behind the glimmer of camaraderie and support with Ryan and Emma, stepping out into a world filled with both possibilities and perils, each one capable of igniting a wildfire of change or reducing my hopes to ashes. The storm loomed on the horizon, and I was at the heart of it, staring into an unknown future that promised to be anything but ordinary. The sky outside was a tapestry of grey, dark clouds swirling like a storm about to unleash its fury. I navigated the bustling streets, each step heavier than the last, the world's hum becoming increasingly drowned out by the thundering of my heart. My father's words haunted me, distilled into a single phrase that echoed relentlessly in my mind: "Fake job." The weight of his disdain felt both like a shield and a shackle, protecting me from vulnerability but binding me to a past I wished to escape. I found myself standing outside his office building, a modern glass structure that gleamed coldly in the dwindling light. It loomed over me, reflecting my own hesitations back like a mirror. This was not just a meeting, it felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, ready to jump into waters unknown. Would I surface triumphant or be dragged beneath the waves? Taking a deep breath, I entered the lobby, greeted by the sterile scent of polished floors and expensive Colognian environment that felt like a world apart from my dreams. Each step felt calculated, the echo of my heels on the tile punctuating the silence of my thoughts. When the elevator doors opened, I nearly turned back. Every instinct screamed to run, to find solace in the safety of Ryan and Emma's kindness at the coffee shop. But the chance to confront my worst fears waited for me one floor above. Gathering what little courage I had, I stepped out and walked toward his office door, my hand poised to knock, yet trembling at that final step. "Come in." A familiar voice called, cutting through the tension. I pushed the door open, revealing my father behind a sleek desk, papers strewn across its surface like fallen leaves in autumn. He looked up, his expression a mixture of surprise and something unreadable. "You came," he stated flatly, his tone revealing nothing of what was to come. "Yeah, I did," I replied, swallowing the lump in my throat. "You said it was important. Sit," he gestured, and I complied, the chair cold against the warmth of my skin. He held my gaze with a fierceness that felt like a spotlight, assessing my every move. "I've been hearing things about your latest endeavors," he began, voice devoid of emotion. "People are starting to speak. Your ideas, your Project Sand?" I interrupted, a mix of defiance and trepidation coloring my voice. "The industry believes you are not serious. They think you are playing at this whole thing." His eyes narrowed slightly, a flicker of something concern? Fear, crossing his face. "I need to know if you are serious about your future. I felt the air grow stale between us, and my heart raced. "I am serious," I insisted, my voice steadier now. "I then prove it," he interrupted, his voice finally laced with urgency. "You need to come to work at one of my companies. Learn from the ground up. Stop trying to push your fake job on people who won't take you seriously. Be part of something tangible." His words were like a venomous dart, sharp and stinging. "You think my work is fake?" I challenged, tapping into a well of suppressed emotion. "You think building a career around my passion isn't real?" He leaned forward, and for a moment, I thought I saw something almost human in his eyes. Perhaps fear for me? For himself? "This is reality. It's harsh. You need credentials and a proper foundation. I can help you, but you have to want it." I studied him, searching for the father I desired amidst the businessmen seated before me. "What if I don't want to follow your path?" I asked, voice cracking. His jaw clenched. "Then I have no idea what you are doing." The silence that followed was suffocating, thick with years of unresolved tension and unspoken dreams. It felt like a chasm had opened between us, a divide carved deeper by his expectations and my determination to break free. I grasped for words, each one feeling inadequate to bridge the gap. "Look, I want to turn my passion into something real, something that has meaning. I don't need a handout, and I definitely don't want to smother my dreams under the weight of your approval," I finally said, the blaze of honesty igniting within me. In that moment, I felt lighter, unburdened by the weight of doubt. Yet the possibility of losing my father's support loomed larger than ever. I could sense the retreat of his reassurance, the confidence in my vision hinting at a fissure forming between us. "Fine. Then, if you believe so deeply in what you are doing, you have to prove me wrong," he stated, his voice a murmur of challenge. "Change my mind if you think you are so capable." I met his gaze, the air thick with tension that crackled like lightning about to strike. "I will." The confrontation left a tremor in the silence that followed, a mixture of relief and gnawing uncertainty. I rose from my seat, the gravity of what had just passed weighing heavily on my shoulders. As I turned to leave, the thought crashed over me, would my father ever truly accept a path that diverged so wildly from his own? Just as I reached for the door, my phone vibrated violently in my pocket. I pulled it out, my heart stumbling as I read the message on the screen. "I am waiting. I have information you need. J." The initials sent a shockwave through me. It was the journalist I had planned to reach out to, the very one I'd lost my nerve to contact in the coffee shop. The urgency in the message was palpable, tinged with a promise, or perhaps a threat. My heart raced, caught in a web of possibilities. What information could she have that was so important? As I glanced back at my father, his brows furrowed, unwavering. The cliff hung dangerously close now, both paths beckoning, but the choice felt heavier than ever. With every heartbeat, I was torn between two worlds, one offering acceptance but under rigid confines, the other unknown but true to myself. And as I stepped through the door, a single thought pierced through the maze of my consciousness, a revelation that burned bright. Sometimes, the road to finding oneself demands losing something else along the way. But what would I have to sacrifice to seize this moment? Would it be worth it? The future remained shrouded in uncertainty, but one truth crystallized in that moment: I was no longer just an echo of my father's dreams. I was ready to carve my own path, no matter the cost. The storm within grew, but it was no longer filled with dread. It was ignited by fierce determination. And as I emerged into the cold air, I realized I was standing on the precipice of a decision that could alter everything. As I walked away from my father's office, the reverberation of his words clung to me, a stubborn aftertaste that wouldn't fade. Outside, the air was crisp and biting, a stark contrast to the warmth I had just left behind. Each step felt like a reckless gamble against the chilly winds brushing against my skin, urging me to reconsider the depth of my resolve. The message from Jay pulsed in my mind, demanding attention. The bustling city around me felt louder than usual. Cars honked, people laughed, and somewhere, a child's cry pierced the hum of urban life. Yet I was wrapped in a cocoon of my own thoughts, each one echoing with the harshness of my father's critique. Was everything I believed about my dreams truly a facade? I fished my phone out again as I ducked beneath an awning to escape the increasingly drizzly weather. I typed a quick response to Jay, "What do you know? I am listening." My fingers trembled as I hit send, the weight of anticipation palpable. Her neutrality in our coffee shop encounter belied an undercurrent of urgency that I needed to tap into while also feeling vulnerable. Knowledge was a precious currency in this war of aspirations. I opted for a quiet cafe nearby, the little sanctuary I had frequented with Ryan and Emma. It was comforting, the aroma of roasted coffee enveloping me as I stepped inside. The familiar sight of scattered workstations, patrons immersed in their own lives, and soft music playing in the background was a small relief to the swirling storm within me. I took a corner seat, fingers wrapped tightly around a lukewarm mug of herbal tea. Minutes passed with agonizing slowness, each tick of the clock a gentle reminder of the brewing storm in my life. This was more than a turning point, it was a watershed moment and I had to be ready for it. My heart danced with hope and desperation, both fighting for dominance. A notification blinked on my phone, drawing me out of my reverie. It's about your last project. You may want to meet tonight. 8 p.m., the usual spot. The message was blunt, and my heart raced again. Just when I thought a gradual stillness had settled, the whirlpool of tension swung upward. The usual spot was not just any cafe, it was the back corner in a dimly lit bar, a local haunt for artists, freelancers, and souls caught in a creative drought. I had spent countless nights there, discussing dreams and dejections over pints and sketches. Meeting in that dim light would hint at shadows, secrets, and perhaps hope that glittered like crushed glass. I took one last sip and pushed myself up from my seat, the warmth of the tea echoing gratitude for bolstering my spirit. Outside, the droplets began to fall heavier, each one heralding a wave of thoughts that manifested into a temporary clarity. Tonight, I would face whatever Jay had to say. Perhaps it was the guidance or reprieve I so desperately needed. As I made my way toward the bar, my mind replayed the meeting with my father. Those unyielding expectations had surged to a boiling point, but amid the confusion, a flame flickered within me, a desire to prove not just to him, but to myself that I was worthy of my dreams. The storm was a test, revealing the chinks in my armor and demanding that I confront the tough decisions that lay ahead. Arriving at the bar, I stepped inside to find the ambience warm and welcoming. Music flowed lightly from speakers, creating a backdrop of laughter and conversation. I spotted Jay in our usual corner, her silhouette poised, a glass in hand. She had a knack for reading emotions today. Her expression was inscrutable. As I settled in, she placed her glass down and looked directly at me, piercing through the effervescent noise surrounding us. I know it didn't go as you imagined, she began, neither judging nor coddling, her tone solid and steadfast. But you are at a turning point now. The industry is watching you, even when you think they aren't. Watching me? I echoed, a mix of skepticism and needling curiosity washing over me. What do you mean? She leaned forward, eyes locking onto mine. There's been chatter about your projects. They are intrigued, she said, slowly unfurling a variety of elements I had never anticipated. But you are going to have to tread carefully. The stakes are high when you challenge the status quo. I felt my heart thundering. This was the potential I had craved to pull into reality. But as excitement bubbled inside me, a nagging fear simmered beneath the surface. I needed to know the extent of what was at stake. What do you mean? Tread carefully. Her gaze shifted momentarily, and then she continued, you have supporters in unexpectedly high places. Just as you have critics who want to see you fail. Your father is part of the reason they are still hesitant. He's a powerful name, and you are living in his shadow. The implications of her words sunk in, a chill wrapping around my spine. I had broken from my father's expectations, yet even now they followed me, influencing perceptions of my capabilities. What would it take to step completely into my own light, away from the anchor of his legacy? Though, there's something more, Jay said, hesitantly, her demeanor shifting into seriousness. Someone has been working behind the scenes, trying to sabotage your image. They are trying to keep you from gaining the traction you deserve. The stabbing realization felt like a punch to the gut. Questions swirling in my mind, I fought to keep my composure. Who? I asked, urgency threading through my words. The air around us thickened, each heartbeat echoing with foreboding. I can't say just yet, she replied, her expression calm yet intense, but you will need to protect yourself. Approach your next moves cautiously, especially if you want to prove your worth. There's a lot at stake, more than you realize. Hope and fear collided fiercely inside me, the push and pull of what I wanted clashing with the very real danger lurking in the shadows. Before I could absorb all she had shared, a loud crash reverberated through the bar. A glass shattered on the floor, drawing a collective gasp from the patrons. I turned to see a figure stumbling backward, the fire of confrontation ragging in their eyes. Enough. A familiar voice thundered, and I felt my blood run cold. My heart dropped into my stomach as I recognized Himone, of my father's closest associates, a man known for his ruthlessness. He was there, facing a sea of shocked faces, locked onto me with fierce determination. This was not the confrontation I had anticipated, yet here it waste storm I had been bracing for had finally erupted. Jay's whispered caution echoed through my mind, the shadows were closing in, and now I was standing at the precipice, right where I had dreaded finding myself. I inhaled sharply, my chest tightening with every realization. What would it take to reclaim my freedom? Would I be marked forever by my father's expectations, or would I rise, even from the depths of this chaos? This was the moment that would initiate my true battle, and I had to confront it head-on if it meant standing against the very tide that had pulled me down. The abrupt crash of glass sent a ripple of unease through the bar, and in that moment, all eyes honed in on me and the man standing defiantly at the center of the chaos. The shock that accompanied his appearance was not just a reaction to the shattered glass, it was a feeling of encroaching dread, a sense that the walls I had tried so hard to build around my aspirations were crashing down. Why are you here? I asked, my voice unexpectedly steady, though the pulse thumping in my ears betrayed me. This isn't your place. He stepped closer, a predatory gleam in his eye. You think you can just waltz away from this family? You think renouncing your father will shield you from the consequences? Think again. Jay's presence beside me was both a comfort and a reminder of the precariousness of my situation. I felt her arm subtly shift, her body language betraying a readiness to intervene. But I couldn't afford that. I had to stand my ground, even if my heart felt like it was lodged somewhere deep in the pit of my stomach. The only consequences I am facing are from you, I replied, mustering all the courage I had. Every word was weighted, meant to break the hold he seemed to have over me. I am not scared of you or your influence. A low chuckle escaped him, laced with condescension. You should be. This isn't merely a family matter, my dear. This is business. And you think your little dreams hold up against the machinery of our name? You are playing with fire, and trust me, it's only a matter of time before you get burned. My hands trembled slightly, but I gripped the edge of the table, forcing myself to focus on the weight of the wood beneath my fingers. I could feel the specter of my father's expectations loitering behind this man, echoing the fears I had been battling for so long. Yes, I had strived to forge my own identity away from the influence of my family, but the reality was clearer than ever. The relentless pull of my father's legacy was stronger than I'd like to admit. I turned my gaze to Jay, seeking her reassurance, her eyes wide with concern. Let's go, she whispered, the urgency in her voice thickening the air. I wanted to, truly, but something deep within me, a stubborn ember forged in the fires of conflict, resisted. Leaving now would feel like handing over my agency, conceding that my father's oppressive shadow still had dominion over me. No. The word slipped out before I could fully process it. I am done running. If you have something to say it. His eyes narrowed, disappointment flickering across his features. This isn't a game you want to play, but I admire your feigned bravery. Very much like your father. He's woven into the fabric of your decisions whether you like it or not. And just like that, the weight of his words pressed down on me anew. Bravery felt less like an attribute and more like a gamble, a tightrope walk over a yawning chasm. Jay leaned in closer, trying to catch my attention, but the threat I felt was real and palpable, igniting something in me that wanted to fight back. What are you afraid of? I challenged, my voice carrying a strength I hadn't known I possessed. The truth? The truth is that I am not afraid of my dream. I am afraid of you thinking you can dictate my future. He laughed, a hollow sound that blended with the rising anxiety in the bar. Your future? That's a bold statement, considering how quickly it could be ruined. Things can change overnight in this industry, and trust me, walking a slippery path. A single word, a single misstep, and your empire will crumble before it even stands. As he stepped back, his presence lingering like a thick fog, my heart raced with the implications of his words. The industry was vast and ferocious, and Jay's previous warning about sabotage gnawed at me. Who was plotting against me? What other obstacles lay hidden within this treacherous landscape? When he finally took his leave, a wave of relief washed over me, yet it was short-lived. My heart still pounded with uncertainty, each beat echoing the lingering dread. In that fleeting moment, I felt the weight of my aspirations tethered not by dreams but by chains of expectation, kind that felt unbreakable. Jay placed a hand on my shoulder, her touch grounding me amid the density of my thoughts. You've got this. But you're also being watched. Challenge what he said, but do it wisely. I have no choice, I whispered, the resolve mingling with anxiety. I am done hiding. But as I voiced this declaration, a flash of doubt snaked through me, whispering that perhaps the shadows were too great, that the legacy I sought to escape would always loom. Yet, peering into the depths of my fight, I felt a flicker of defiance ignite. It was then that I noticed my phone buzzing incessantly on the table. A new message, its urgency sending a jolt through my body. With trembling fingers, I opened it, my breath hitching in my throat as I read the familiar name, the very name that would lead me toward an unexpected revelation. Meet me at the gallery. I need to share something important. The thought of Ryan filled me with an instant warmth, yet a heavier realization struck me. The gallery was not just any place, it held the memories of our shared dreams, framed in the ambitions we had chased together. What could he possibly want to reveal that would add to the existing turmoil in my mind? A sudden determination surged through me. I could either let this storm dismantle me piece by piece, or I could harness each drop of adversity, forging my path within the chaos. As I stood to take my leave, Jay nudged my arm, her voice barely above a whisper. You need to keep your guard up. Protect your vision. Nodding vaguely, I stepped outside the bar, my heart racing not just from adrenaline but from the tantalizing blend of trepidation and a burgeoning sense of possibility. I would confront whatever awaited at the gallery, ready or not. But just as I walked away, a shadow fell over me. I turned instinctively, the hairs on my neck prickling. In the distance, I could see someone lurking under a flickering street lamp, their presence enigmatic yet familiar. As they stepped forward, I was met with the last person I'd expected, someone who might unravel the fragile fabric of my resolve. This was not the storm I had anticipated, but it was certainly the tempest that promised to change everything. The gallery loomed before me like a shrine to our shared dreams, each brushstroke of color embedded with memories of late-night discussions and spirited debates about art and ambition. Yet, as I approached the entrance, a wave of hesitation washed over me. My heart knew I should be excited at the prospect of seeing Ryan, but the gravel in my gut feeling only intensified with each step I took. I pushed the door open, the soft chime of the bell echoing in the stillness as I stepped into the familiar warmth of the gallery. The air was tinged with a mix of linseed oil and something fluid and unpredictably feeling of hope intermingled with trepidation. I scanned the room, searching for Ryan among the canvases shimmering in the dim light. When I spotted him, my breath caught. He was standing in front of a large piece, a chaotic swirl of colors that seemed to mirror the turmoil in my chest. It was a far cry from the